Just 2 days ago, we got a very interesting surprise where the iMac Pro is coming out in 2 days. Exactly. Very, very sudden. A lot of people were anticipating it would be the 18th, but they decided to rush it for the holidays, I guess. I thought this was sort of interesting because a lot of people were theorizing that available in December means December 31st at 11:59 p.m. However, they kind of did that, as we've discovered with the release. The orders officially went live on December 14th at around 5:30 in the morning. Not at midnight for some reason. They were like, oh no, people can sleep in and just wake up early. It's like, then why don't you do that with the iPhone launches? Those you have to be up at midnight for. Anyway, just kind of a bizarre release because I decided to call the Apple stores because I was curious if you'd be able to pick them up on December 14th, today. So just yesterday, I called a bunch of stores and said, are you guys gonna have them tomorrow? And some of them said, well, we're not sure until the morning of, which is weird. I feel like you should know what packages are coming in. And some of them said, definitely yes. Every single Apple store is going to have iMac Pros to purchase. So he said, great. Even though this morning that it says pickup was not available in the Apple Store app, there have been times in the past where certain products would come out and they would say pickup is not available, but that product would be available to walk-in customers who didn't reserve one. Very similar experience happened with the 4K Apple TV back when that came out. Though I guess it makes sense that iMac Pro is probably not on par with that. But just to be safe, me and my friends went to the Apple Store to see if they had any. We asked and they said that no Apple stores are getting them yet, and they're likely not going to get them until the shipments arrive, which means that if you order one today and get it with your fastest shipping possible, which is 1 to 2 weeks, that's probably when the Apple Store is going to get them as well. So doing the smart thing I did, and thanks to all of you guys donating, and thanks to all of you supporting me and making this channel possible for the past 6 months now. Yeah, it came out in June. For the past 6 months, I've been putting aside a little bit of money just for the iMac Pro savings because I'm looking at this as a long-term investment. I plan on buying more advanced cameras and they'll be recording lots more higher quality footage that I hope to be editing on. Like, I fully understand. As of right now, iMac Pro is completely overkill for the types of videos we edit. We're doing 1080 at 60, occasionally 4K, like that's not necessary, but I'm looking at this as a long-term investment. I'm looking at it as I'll be using it for 4 to 5 years. I'm not looking for the modular Mac Pro that everyone keeps waiting for, but space gray. I mean, come on, that's the primary reason. So we went to the Apple Store and like I said, they do not have them there yet. They said they might be getting them later, but the best way to do it is to just check in with them periodically. However, just because I'm not exactly sure when my local Apple Store will be getting them, I placed the order and decided to treat myself a little bit. I did not get the exact base model. The one big complaint I've always had with my 15-inch MacBook Pro is that it always ran out of storage. So I decided to spend a little bit extra and get the 2 terabyte solid state option for the iMac Pro, which is great because I plan on doing Windows 10 Boot Camp for showing gaming performance on this iMac Pro, meaning that we'll likely designate 300 to 400 gigs of this hard drive just for Windows 10. And then the rest of it, of course, will be great for storing all of those 4K files, perhaps 4K at 60 files in the future. And definitely, I'm running out of space all the time on my 256 gig MacBook Pro. It's insane that this and my MacBook have the same storage configuration, but at the time, it was the most that I could afford. I could not afford to up the storage anymore. So I decided not to compromise this time and just go all in. But yeah, on basically every other field, I got the standard model, which is the 8-core Xeon processor with 32 gigabytes of RAM and the base GPU. However, I did invest in getting the Magic Trackpad 2 in space gray and the Magic Mouse in space gray because you can only get these things once. Whenever you buy an iMac Pro, you get this space gray keyboard and mouse, and you can't get those separately unless, of course, you know someone who's going to be selling them. I'm planning on selling my space gray trackpad after reviewing it. Plus, I might even consider selling that one black lightning cable you get with it. Like, Apple does not make certified black lightning cables, but you get one with the iMac Pro. Just one, and you can't really get it anywhere else. It's like the most oddly specific thing. But anyway, it should be getting here around 2 weeks from now. The expected delivery date is December 28th. So sadly, if you wanted to buy your kid a $5,000 computer, they're not going to get it Christmas morning. I know, it sucks. But hopefully everyone's going to be getting them before the end of the year. A lot of people are actually having their delivery dates pushed into January. Some people even February, which I found confusing. But I'm not too mad that they don't have them in stores on the 14th. Obviously, that would have been nice if we could just walk in and buy it 2 days after they announce. But I just kind of wish Apple would communicate better with their staff. Like, I think the questions I was having should have been a bit more obvious. Like, someone asking, I don't want FedEx or I don't want UPS handling handling, you know, $6,000 plus worth of computer equipment in a cardboard box. I would like to pick this up myself. So you should tell people when it will be available in stores, not just when you can order it. And they didn't even call this a pre-order phase. They just called it order online. So it was very confusing, especially when you're calling Apple customer support and they keep saying, yeah, it'll be there, or we're not sure. Why can't they just tell all of customer support what they're actually going to do, which is not have them on launch? Would have saved us a trip, would have been a lot easier. But either way, I'm still very, very excited for the iMac Pro unboxing. I've been waiting for this thing for a long time. I'm hearing about Final Cut Pro updates coming that are allowing more color options and better performance, I'm sure, with the iMac Pro being this insane powerhouse that with the Geekbench scores we're seeing is going to be far ahead of the Mac Pro and definitely far ahead of the highest spec iMac. So definitely pumped for it. I kind of wish that MKBHD or Jonathan Morrison would look to see if there's that Hello Siri option in the settings, because there was that leak we saw earlier with a guy who literally was screen recording himself setting up the Hello Siri thing on a Mac, and that's rumored to be on the iMac Pro. I haven't seen it yet, so I wish you guys would cover that. You got it early. Congrats. Definitely would have taken you up on that offer. One happy thing we did hear about, though, is that, you know, we were kind of anticipating earlier that the highest spec iMac Pro would cost around $17,000 with all of these extra cores, all this crazy amount of RAM and solid state. Not actually as bad as we were thinking. The top tier iMac Pro fully maxed out is around $13,500, which is still crazy amount for a computer, and I'm sure everyone's commented already. You can buy a car with that. You could buy 10 Xboxes with that. Yes, we know it's a lot of money. This is not meant for everyone. This is definitely an elite product just for professionals. Very narrow audience, but that very narrow audience is very excited to see so much power in such a sleek all-in-one device. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see that you can get, you know, 18 cores, 4 terabytes of storage, 128 gigs of RAM in something that's around the 13 grand range, which definitely is up there, but definitely not as bad as we thought it would be. And usually it's the opposite with Apple. Usually we make a prediction and Apple ends up making it cost more than that. So what are your guys' thoughts on the iMac Pro? I'm definitely excited. If you guys have any questions or things you think I should try on it, as soon as it gets here, I'll definitely live stream the unboxing because it's a big moment for Tailosive Tech as a whole. And I'll definitely be checking my phone regularly to see the tracking updates. Don't mess this up, FedEx. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.